we only have the first page, okay? I did ask you over the week to review all those answers, all right? And I'm going to get a little more into the timing. And then we're going to move on to the second part of part one, because part one has two distinct different parts. But we're going to look at the timing as well this week, all right? Now, part one here, as it says, introduction and familiar topics. Now, the familiar topics, you know, there are three. It's your home, do you work, or are you a student? So your home, your work, your studies. These are the familiar topics. You have 2 minutes for this, all right? And generally speaking, no more than 2 minutes. Fairly regularly, the examiner will get through this in less than 2 minutes, depending on the length of your response. But the examiner is under time pressure to get through this. So you don't need to give you don't need to give too long a response or too lengthy a response. All right. Just a moment. Mr. Nyut Kwang is here. Nyut. Okay. All right. And what we're going to do is now we're going to work through this so you get a feeling for the timing and how much you have to say, and whether, oh, I live in a semi-detached house is long enough or short enough. Now, as we've just listened to 7 people, we've noted that some of you speak quicker and some of you speak slower. So how much you have to say, how long your answer should be, is very difficult to judge. What you can do is you can practice and get a feeling for that by doing this, okay? Now, you know the examiner says, come in, sit down, let me see your ID, yada, 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 yeah? Then they start the timer when they say, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Away we go, timer. All right. Then check your ID. Boom, 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 boom. This is going to take, let us say, around 30 seconds. Okay. Put that there. Highlight. Bang. 30 seconds. All right. Then they move on to the familiar questions. Okay. That means you've got 1 minute 30, 90 seconds. So should your response be 30 seconds? Well, the examiners needs to say, let's talk about where you live. What kind of house is it? Let's say, or would you say it's a good place to live? Okay. They might even ask you a why after you've spoken. And generally, they will ask why if they think you've memorized something, or if they think that your answer is too short and they want you to keep talking to show more language. All right. You can't control that. You can't control if they say why or not. Not really, unless you give a long response. So you're going to have maybe 5 seconds taken with the question. And then you might give a response that's, let's say, 15 or 20 seconds long. Now, in 15 or 20 seconds, you might be able to get a simple sentence and compound, a complex sentence, okay? It's up to, depends on you, really, okay? Now, what you also need to bear in mind as well is if your answer is too long, the examiner will say, thank you. When they say thank you, then that basically means, yes, be quiet, stop talking now, all right? And they've had enough. They're under time pressure to move on to the next question, all right? So let's not forget, you need to answer the question. You need to do not hesitate, and you need to extend the answer, but not really too much. Okay, so as we're listening to some of these responses, I'm going to have my timer on. And if I feel like you're talking a little bit too long, I'm going to cut you off and say thank you. All right. I'm not going to give any feedback on this. We're going to run through real quick. Okay. We've done this last week, and this is a review for you, and you hopefully have practiced. Okay. So let me just jot down a few names. 8, 9, 11. Okay, we're going to have about 6 of you, okay? All right, start with back. Back, are you there? All right, so we won't start with back. Instead, let's start with Chun Ling. Chun Ling. No, no Ling?
I'm here.
Ah, hi. Right, Ling, let's talk about where you live. Are there any shops in the area?
I think sorry. I live in an apartment. It's just small, and we have full of kind of shop, convenience shop around me.
Thank you. 8, 9. Ming Ang, Lê Ming Ang. No, no Lê Ming Ang. So, Hui Ling.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Tui Ling. Let's talk about where you live. What's the most interesting place in your hometown?
In my opinion, the most interesting place in my hometown is Eco Park, because it has flower.
Would you say it's a good place to live?
Yes, I think it is a good place to live because it has green environment, and
Thank you. Now, everybody, the reason that I moved on and asked another question is because if you're not answering the question, you're hesitating too long, if there's a pause and silence, I will wait around 5 seconds and then I will ask you another question. All right, so they give you time to wait, silence, and then we go, okay, great, boom, next question after 5 seconds. So, Mr. Kwang, Nyat Kwang, you're new to the class, you've just come in. So I'm hoping that you can answer a question, Mr. Kwang.
Sure.
Great. So let's talk about where you live. What kind of house would you like to have in the future?
So since I spent my whole childhood in a private independent house, so when I grow up, I would like to live in the same house, but much larger, as long as I can afford it.
Excellent. Good response. Yeah, like it. I've got another Thùy Linh. Not Nguyên Phương Thùy Linh, just Thùy Linh. Are you there, Thùy Linh?
Yes.
That's you. Nguyên Thùy Linh?
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent. All right. Let me just write down your name. Nguyên Thùy Linh. All right. Thank you. All right. Again, sticking with let's talk about where you live. What kind of house is it that you live in?
I answered the question. What's the most interesting place in your hometown?
Oh, okay. So in that case, I need to talk to the other Thùy Linh, Nguyên Phương Thùy Linh.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. All right. So Nguyên Phương Thùy Linh. Sorry about that. Can you tell me what kind of house is it?
It is my house is a small apartment in like a medium height, and it's a lovely apartment, and it's very peaceful.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Just one thing there with the pronunciation. Everybody remember that your how is not a how, it's a house. So don't forget those final S's. All right. It's very common all throughout, all kind of does, has, house, was. Okay. So just be careful with those. All right. Everybody, not just you, Miss Tweeling, everybody. All right. Next one is Locke. Mr. Locke.
Yes.
Hi, Locke. Now, let's move on and let's talk about, do you work or are you a student? All right. So, all right. Do you work or are you a student? And then I'll ask you the question there. What subjects are you studying?
Basically, I am still a student, and I am learning English at the moment.
All right. Thank you. So that was a little short. I think we need longer than that. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Now, 11, 12, 13. Sorry, Huang Quan.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Hey, hi Quan. Good connection, that is. So, do you work or are you a student? Study. So, why did you choose this or these subjects?
Firstly, I'm studying physics, and I choose physics because it's quite interesting, and it makes me more smart. I think that, and I choose physics because I will. Oh, I don't know how to say. Sorry.
Okay. Is it related to your future career?
No.
All right. Okay, so no problem.
No.
Let's move on. I said I wouldn't give feedback, but I love these two because you said I choose. I choose. Well, you mean I chose in the past? Okay.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
And you said that it makes you more smart. Well,
Yeah.
not more smart. No. Smarter.
Smarter. Oh yeah. Sorry.
All right. So
got.
watch your grammar. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Quan, where's number 14? Here we are. Well, we have Viet Ang.
All right. Can you hear me first?
Yes, I can hear you very well. All right.
Okay.
Now, I assume you're a student. So,
Yes.
how long have you been studying your subject?
I've been studying. Well, I've been studying English for about 10 years, 10, 15 years, a long time, basically. Started from when I was very young and worked my way up to now.
All right, great. Very clear answer. I'd like you to kind of join all of those components together into a more sort of fluent sentence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you were jumping around a lot there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Thanks.
No problem. Let's stop there. And I think we'll move on and get into some breakout rooms with something. Just give me a moment to. Yeah, okay. So guys, you should be able to see in the materials that there is a document 2.2, and that's part 1.2 topics. So if you want to look at that, that's fine. I will share the screen. Actually, hold on a second. Yeah. Okay, so ladies and gents, I'm hoping that you can see, it says there 2.3, should be 2.2, 2.2. And these are the topics that come next. Can any of you confirm that you can see part 1.2 topics, friends, names? All right, Viet Ang, let me ask you again because you were the last. Yeah. Can you see?
We can see. I can see it. Yeah.
You can see it, so everyone
Absolutely.
Probably can. Thank you.
I think
All right.
so. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Okay, now guys, everybody, once we've moved on from the familiar topics, the examiner needs to then talk to you about also quite familiar topics, things that you should know about. Friends, names. If we look down, we've got food, photos, bicycles, swimming, humor, neighbors, all these kinds of things, just normal, standard, everyday things. Okay. Each topic has 4 questions. The questions are supposed to get more difficult as they go on. Question 1, the easiest. 2, 3, 4, the more difficult. We can argue whether that's true or not, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, okay. What you'll notice is, look, how often, yeah, present simple, frequency, yeah. Did you have past simple, jump, change tenses, yeah, bang. How friendly are you with your neighbors, present simple, back again, yeah. Different vocabulary in each of them, yeah. Which is more important to you? This one here. Now, maybe this is more difficult because it's more abstract. It's not as easy to define. Yeah, it's a more challenging question. Okay. So the examiner will need to ask you questions from 2 topics. They will ask you all 4 questions in order. They might say why or why not. I told you why. To keep you talking or to see if you've memorized language or not. Okay. And they will only not ask one of these questions if you've already answered it. Okay. So they might say, how often do you go out with friends? Yeah. Oh, I always go out with my friends. I often go out with my best friend, John, from school, and we like to go to cafes and hang out, talking to our friends. Okay. So then you've just told us that you have a best friend called John who's at your school. The examiner can't ask you that question. They could, but you'd be like, as I just said, yeah, so they probably won't. They'll skip that one. All right. Now, they'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then at least one from the second topic. Okay. They might do 2 from the second topic. They might do all 4. You really don't know. Okay. You're pretty sure that you're going to get 5 of these questions and maybe some follow-up questions. All right. Okay. And you could get up to 8 questions. Okay. It depends how long your answers are, and it depends how quickly and how fluent you are. Obviously, if you speak then you're not going to get asked many questions. Okay. But if you're really good, you're talking really fast, you're giving a lot of information, and you can say a lot of stuff in a short amount of time with some good vocabulary and grammar and everything like that, you're going to have to say a lot, and then they're going to ask a lot of questions and some follow-up questions as well, because you can talk like that. Okay. So what I'd like us to do is to work in groups, and I'll put you in breakout rooms shortly. Okay. And I'd like you to work with one of you asking the questions, being the examiner, and then